Hello everyone and welcome into the championship edition of the Mercer County Football Show here on WVCD1490.com. Alongside the Trentonians George O'Gorman, I'm Mike Samsel, and George, something we talked about was a possibility all year, and here we are out at Nottingham High School celebrating a Nottingham North Stars state championship.
Been a long time coming. Well, every year we go into this season hoping somebody from Mercer County will win a championship, and thankfully for these guys and Coach John Adams and his staff, it finally happened. Since 1989, we've been hoping for a Mercer County team to win a Central Jersey championship, and the North Stars did it with a memorable performance and a memorable season, and earned their spot in Mercer County football history.
Yeah, that they did. The Mercer County Football Show being presented by Haldeman Ford Subaru here today, here yesterday, and here tomorrow. Rum Banks, the St. Francis Medical Center, and the Trentonian as well. And we're being joined by three members of that team, three junior standouts from the Nottingham North Stars team: Saquon Hampton, Davion Davis, and Alexis Santiago. And Alexis, we'll start off with you first, kind of alternating in that backfield with Roy Williams and Josh Lajeunesse. That's something, and Clyde Huntley as well, who had a big touchdown in the title game. So that's something heading into the season. Coach John Adams told us about that. You guys were all very open to alternating back and forth, and you guys all really worked well together.
We work hard in practice, so and we're all good friends. We go out to eat all the time, so we all get along, so we all get reps. It's going to work out next year. We all come back.
Davion Davis joins us here too, and Davion, a big wide receiving core as well. I mean, being on this team, you have two quarterbacks that alternate back and forth, all kinds of running backs, wide receivers. I mean, there are really a lot of weapons on this team this year.
Yeah. It was. Like, we all just worked out with each other to get better. It just worked out good.
Do you think that's one of the things that made you guys good, was that the competition you're going against was so good? Just in the practices.
Yeah, like the competition, like going against the blue DBs like Saquon and Josh, everybody else, made us better to go against other people.
You got to feel especially proud about it. Not only winning the championship, but you had the big catch to get them into the championship game. That's got to be
it felt good.
The highlight of your career, I guess.
Yeah,
but that didn't top the championship, right?
No, it didn't. It felt more better winning the championship and having fun with my team after.
Something that head coach John Adams always talks about is he's tired of hearing about the short conference teams, and I'm sure it's something that you guys heard about in practice all the time. Making your run to the Central Jersey Group 3 title, you took out 3 short conference teams. I'm sure you guys wanted to see Allentown again, maybe get some revenge there, but to take out 3 short teams, that's something that had to feel pretty good.
Yeah, definitely.
What was it about the short conference? I guess because they've always beaten teams from Mercer County, Saquon, it's kind of made it tough on Mercer County teams to get some bragging rights, but they weren't any different than anybody else that you played this year, right?
I don't know. Our coach prepares us in the preseason. We verse big teams like Old Bridge, teams like Cherry Hill East, and stuff like that for the big games down the road.
Puts a little pressure on you guys now. You want to enjoy this while we got a whole 10 months, I guess, to enjoy it before you get back on the practice field. But kind of puts pressure on the juniors coming back next year to repeat.
Yeah, it's something I think we can do if everybody works hard and puts their mind to it.
That's something that John Adams, the head coach, really likes to key on. You guys had a lot of seniors that contributed this year, but yourself, Davion, Alex Santiago, Steven Adams coming back at quarterback. There's a ton of talent coming back on this team next year as well, so there does have to be a little bit of pressure moving forward.
Dave, I was telling Coach Adams that they've always said that the sign of a good football program is when you win a championship and you don't have to rebuild. You kind of just reload. You got guys ready to step in. That's the feeling around here with the North Stars. You guys should be just as strong next year.
Well, I'm actually a senior.
Oh, you're a senior this year?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But still, you still got to feel pretty good about a lot of the younger guys stepping into this program.
They do. Like, they all work hard, not hard as us in practice, like going against them too, like the younger guys, and just getting better. And I'm sure they're just going to work hard over the offseason and get better.
Saquon, something I wanted to ask you about, being out on the field, playing quarterback when Jameer Jenkins had that interception, and just a crazy return. 8 tackles. That's something. I saw your sideline when that play happened. That's something. You could feel the momentum swing right at that moment.
I'm on the field, and all I can think about is just finding the next person to block. It's just running back and forth. It was exciting.
Yeah, that's something that head coach John Adams, probably something not used to hearing, a cornerback looking for the next person to block.
Yeah.
But that's something that I know you guys really take a lot of pride in. You guys you don't think of yourself as a quarterback. You guys are out there as football players. And I
Yeah.
mean, you guys are all hard-nosed guys out there.
Yes.
Alex, what was the most memorable play that you can, I mean, there were some really great ones for the North Stars this year, but any one or two plays in particular that stick in your mind as plays you'll never forget?
I think the Jameer interception and Davion's game-winning catch against Longbridge. It was a reverse pass to Jamil, and he threw it to Davion. Got there over two guys and won the game for us right there.
When you saw that play called, what did you think? You think it was going to go? That Jamil's pass?
To be honest, in practice, Coach Adams almost killed Jamil because Jamil will overthrow Davion, underthrow Davion, throw a duck to him. But he called it in the game. It was just a beautiful ball and a beautiful catch.
It was a perfect pass, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, we saw that picture on the front page of the paper with your eyes all, the ball right there. That's something you'll treasure for the rest of your life. That was a great photo, that the pass and the catch.
I have it in my room.
We'll have to get you the original of that. Nice glossy of that one.
Yeah.
Alex, tell us about this team. I mean, you not only had alternating quarterbacks between Luke and Steven, but there was a lot of parity in the running game with Rawway, you, Lajeunesse. I mean, a lot of different guys. Then at the end of the season, Huntley moving in. I mean, there's really been some great depth, and that makes it tough for a guy to keep his job.
Well, I think competition brought out the best. Like, me and Roy, we've been going at it for, this is going to be our second year. Well, going on to our third year. But Clyde steps in, he makes big plays. Josh makes big plays. Me and Roy, we make big plays, but it just makes me better. It makes me, I have to work harder because if I take a day off, they're going to pass me, and I don't want them to pass me.
You weren't surprised that Clyde really stepped in that game against Notre Dame and had a big game. I mean, you knew the potential was there.
Yeah, we call him Comeback Clyde for a reason. So he made a
He
big
did
play.
that.
Yeah, he did that.
That's great to know. Yeah.
It certainly is. Your offensive line really, really played well this year. And Nicky DeMarie was your fullback this year. And the long touchdown run from Clyde Huntley, the first thing that Coach Adams said was just the crushing block that DeMarie threw. Just talk about those guys and how they've helped. Everyone kind of pays attention to the skill positions and the two quarterbacks and everything like that. But the guys up front really did a lot to set this team up.
Well, as running backs and quarterbacks, you can't do anything without our linemen. I mean, they don't get enough respect from anyone, but those guys work hard. Like, they live 5 days a week. They watch film 5 days a week. We go over plays at least twice a week, so we know everything. We know where they're going to be. We know where the holes are going to be. And, I mean, they're pretty strong dudes. I think they're underrated.
How was it in practices when you guys would go? I mean, I presume there were some practices where the offense went against the defense.
Yeah.
You had the best defense in the county. Was that tough for the offense to try to score on these guys? Did you score much in practice?
Yeah. Our defense will, throw a crazy blitz or something. Once we call on to them, Captain Aaron Levinson, he just told us what to do, and he just blew everyone up. So all we got to do is find a hole and just keep running.
It's Mercer County Football Show being presented by Haldeman Ford Subaru, Roma Bank, St. Francis Medical Center, the Heart Hospital in the city of Trenton, and also the Trentonian. Thanks for watching us here on WBCB1490.com. Saquon Hampton, Tavion Davis, Alexis Santiago. Guys, congratulations on a great season and bringing home the first Mercer County state title since 1989. I'm sure that's something you all got to take a lot of pride in as well. I mean, you guys are going to go down in the record books in Mercer County. This is a team that everyone's going to remember for a very long time. So,
Congratulations, Alex, Saquon, and Tavion.
Congratulations,
You
guys.
going to school next year? You going to go to school next year?
Yeah.
What do you plan on playing football next year? Do you plan on playing yet? Or?
Yeah, I'm playing football next year. I don't know where yet.
Best of luck. It's certainly something we'll keep an eye on. We'll come back on the other side here on Mercer County Football Show. We'll be joined by a new batch of players. We'll be back right after this.
I'm Jerry Jablonowski, President and Chief Executive Officer of St. Francis Medical Center. For over 137 years, St. Francis has remained committed to the people of Trenton, living out our mission to be a transforming, healing presence in the communities we serve by delivering top-quality health care to all in a personal and compassionate manner. We have continually expanded our services to meet the changing healthcare needs of our city. Despite the hospital changes taking place in Trenton, St. Francis will continue to be here, providing all the residents of Trenton with access to top-quality health care, both at our hospital and within your communities where you live and work. Our renowned services in cardiac care, cancer treatment, and stroke care, in addition to our newly designed comprehensive care of chronic diseases, will continue to provide Trenton with the best in healthcare services. Our emergency room is always open for your immediate needs in times of medical crisis. St. Francis Medical Center will be here so you'll be well.
Back here here on the Mercer County Football Show on WBCB1490.com alongside the Trentonians George O'Gorman. I'm Mike Samsel. George, out here at Nottingham High School celebrating, we've talked about it, the first Mercer County championship in football since 1989, and certainly a team that will be remembered for a very long time.
It's the first Mercer County championship, the first state championship ever for a team out of Hamilton Township, and the first state championship for the Nottingham North Stars. And, Coach John Adams and his, this will go down as one of the great teams in Mercer County history. You know, they always measure your success by how far you get in the playoffs, and you know, only 3 schools now have ever won championships: Notre Dame twice, Ewing twice, and now the North Stars from Notre Dame. With a chance, who knows, if luck holds and things work out, maybe they could do it again next year. They certainly got a lot of talent, junior talent on this team coming back next year.
Yeah, that they certainly do, and we're spotlighting 3 of those juniors in this segment right here: Stephen Adams, Josh Lajeunesse, and Broway Williams. Some of the very talented running backs, and the quarterback for the Nottingham North Stars, who split some time with Luke Westerberg. And Stephen, we'll start with you. It's a question I asked. I had an opportunity to talk to you before the game. I said, you know, you and Pop's probably not a whole lot of conversation that doesn't involve football, but now moving forward, you're kind of taking over this team, and I'm sure Coach looks to you as kind of to be an extension of himself out there on the field.
Yeah, just to, you know, as he's always told me, run the offense. You know, don't try to do too much. Just make sure you're playing your game. And as long as I'm doing that, I think I can help the team be successful. And I'm just going to try and help them whichever way I can.
Stephen, how tough was it having your dad as the coach? I mean, you know, a lot of guys in football have had that opportunity. Here you are, I mean, you know, not only do you have to listen to your dad at practice, but then when you go home on the ride home, you know, you got to be listening to him critique everything you do. Did you just put that aside and, you know, accept that?
Yeah, well, I've had him coach me since I was little playing basketball. And, you know, it's one of those things where it's a difficult situation, but he's got to be your coach on the field and dad off the field. And, you know, going back to your question about how it was, it's just, you know, get scrutinized a little bit for it. You know, everybody's going to say you play because, you know, your dad's the coach, but, you know, you just got proven wrong every Saturday, and I love proving people wrong. So, you know, it's a little fun.
It's got to be nice having these 2 guys in the backfield.
Absolutely. They're great players, tremendous athletes, and they're always watching my back. So that's definitely a good thing.
Broadway, how tough was it? I mean, I remember seeing you as a, I guess it was a sophomore, and I said, wow, this kid is a hell of a back. I mean, you're big and strong, and all of a sudden, you know, here you come this year into the season, and you're hurt, and you weren't really getting a lot of carries. Was that tough?
Honestly, it was tough, but I knew that the team would do fine and they'll hold it down, and I just got to do what I had to do to support my team and help them.
That was the one thing about this team, right? I mean, you know, there was such camaraderie among the guys that really, you know, some guys, if they see somebody maybe playing, if they're pulled out, another guy goes in, they get a little bit of upset about it, but you guys just kind of supported each other. That was one of the strong points.
Yeah, because we really built this team around being together in a family, and I think that's why when a situation came, like Coach said, a championship team, when tough time come, how would it come together? And during the season, it showed that we were a championship team. Like you said, for example, when I got injured in the Notre Dame game, with Josh, myself, and Lex got injured, people step up like Clyde Huntley, the couple of JV offensive lines. It showed what kind of group we had.
How much did it play in, you know, kind of going into camp this year? Coach telling you guys, listen, you're going to have to check the egos at the door a little bit. There's a lot of guys that are going to play on this team. Is that something he came out right at the beginning of the season and told you that? Is that something that you guys were aware of? So, listen, I have a defined role. I might not get the carries I'm looking for, but that's something I'm just going to have to help my team win when I can.
That's something, yeah, absolutely. We realized that this team is bigger than any one player. We all came from one goal to get a championship. And so we had to put our egos aside and win, period.
Josh, how tough was it in the beginning of the season, not knowing what the status was going to be with Coach Adams' health? I mean, you know, you guys going into the season, I mean, really, I guess he didn't get clearance till, what, late July, early August, and here you are a couple of weeks away from the first practices, first scrimmage, and, you know, was there an unsteadiness, or did you guys just bond even closer together?
Before we did anything, nobody really knew what to think. I mean, every time he would come to practice, he would seem like the same Coach Adams, but he told us we can't hang our heads down. He'll be fine. He'll be back. And we believed him. And every time we went to practice, we just thought, hey, no joking around, no screwing around. Coach Adams, he's in the hospital, but act like he never left, act like he's right there still on the field, telling us where to go, telling us what to do. It was tough though, you know. Big Dog, you know, our head coach, having him down like that is it's not a good feeling. So we wanted to make him proud and let him know that we're still rolling strong.
You know, you started the season with that 13-0 win over Hightstown, which wasn't a bad football team, although I think they had bad luck as the season went on. And then you guys go on that streak of not giving up any points. And ironically, you give up your first points to a team that didn't win a game, but which is a rarity in itself. But that added to the intensity of this team, the pride that you guys took, you know, on the defense and the defense putting up those shutouts game after game. I mean, that made it even brought you guys together closer.
Well, yeah, Coach Adams told us, I mean, no team is ever perfect. You know, he told us along the run maybe we lose a game. And I think it was kind of good for us because we bounced right back and kept shutting teams out. We didn't hang our heads, you know, we didn't get timid, we didn't stop playing our game, you know. And it wasn't like we got blown out as a 3-point loss.
I think you just ran out of time.
Yeah,
that's all it was.
That's all it was. Give us another 2 minutes, I bet we went down and scored.
Stephen, talk about having a defense like that. Is that something that takes a little bit of pressure off you, knowing that if something goes wrong offensively, your defense is probably going to be there to help bail you out?
Absolutely. It makes you feel more comfortable, you know, going out there knowing that you don't have to go out and throw a touchdown. You make a mistake, it's going to be all right because they're going to get you the ball back. Definitely makes you more comfortable. It makes the offense more comfortable. And I think the Long Branch game is just a pure example of that.
You know, I think one of the more amazing things that I found about this Nottingham team was, you know, the depth on this team. I mean, you probably had a half a dozen quality receivers that you could throw the ball to anytime you wanted. I mean, you know, even Luke Mesday is a great receiver, and you guys really didn't have to use him that much. And I mean, you know, the running backs, I mean, how deep you go. You see some teams that have some guys that can run the ball, but not to the quality that your supposed backups were able to run the ball. That's got to be a pretty good feeling.
Yeah, well, when you can establish the run, it makes the play action a lot easier. You know, just finding the receivers, because, you know, going back to what I said, my dad told me, get the ball to the playmakers. That was my number one goal coming into the year, number one goal all year. And, you know, as the season progressed, more guys started coming along, getting better, like Clyde, like Josh stepping up his role, Davion stepping up his role. And, you know, seeing those guys get better, it makes you want to make them better, and makes you want to get better too. So.
Josh, what's the feeling been around school this week since you guys brought home the championship?
Every excuse I had, I'm a champion. It's a good feeling. I go back to Spirit Week. You know, we have Spirit Week here. It feels way better than that. Every time you walk in class, congrats. Everywhere you go, congrats. I mean, I got my hair cut the other day, and my barber's telling me congrats. I'm like, how do you know that? Like, you don't even communicate.
Well,
like
I probably
that.
went to buy McDonald's over there on 33, but congratulations to Red Stars football, and you know, to see the signs up at Applebee's, the whole community has gotten behind this team.
It feels good to have that much support. You know, I mean, I think that motivated us also to win the state championship.
Josh Lajeunesse, Rollway Williams, Stephen Adams, guys, congratulations! And as I said, celebrate it. This is a team that's, you know, first Mercer County championship since 1989, and something that I know Coach Adams already drilling into you. Every team that's won one has won two, so I guess you guys would be next up to do that as well.
We're not trying to get comfortable with this junior class. We're trying to, you know, instill into all the guys coming back. You know, we got to work harder. We got the one goal done, get there, win it. Now we got to get there, defend it. So.
And another thing, we look at one hand and we say there's a ring, but we look at the other hand and say we need another one. So.
Well, congratulations, guys, and stay hungry.
Yeah, stay hungry, guys.
Get that ring next year.
Congratulations. We'll be right back after this here on the Mercer County Football Show.
The Trentonian presents Philadelphia Eagles Football Frenzy. You could win the grand prize to see the Eagles play Dallas in Dallas on December 2nd. Get your copy of the Daily Trentonian to register. Enter between now and September 30th for your chance to win. Every Sunday, the Trentonian is giving out a $100 gift card, a 2-night hotel package for two with your choice of a regular season Eagles game, and on October 7th, the grand prize will be announced, a flyaway package to Dallas to see the Eagles take on the Cowboys December 2nd with 2-night hotel accommodations. For entry rules, check the Daily Trentonian and enter as often as you like in the Trentonian or online at Trentonian.com. It's the Philadelphia Football Frenzy from the Trentonian, the only local paper serving both Bucks and Mercer counties.
Back here on the Mercer County Football Show on WBC1490.com alongside the Trentonians' George O'Gorman. I'm Mike Samsel, celebrating the Nottingham North Stars Group 3 Central State Championship, the first one since 1989, presented by Haldeman Ford Subaru, Roma Bank, St. Francis Medical Center, and the Trentonian. And John, you've been sitting off to our right all show, and now you're sitting next to us over here. And every time I say first Mercer County Championship since 1989, I always see that smile and that nod of approval. I mean, that's got to be something that you feel really good about.
I feel tremendously blessed. I feel humbled, and it's just an overwhelming feeling of joy. Coming into the school on Monday, seeing the faces of everybody and how much pride and just a general good feeling, not just by our football team, but by our school community, our kids, our teachers, staff members. We stood in the hallway, even though we probably shouldn't say this as we're educators, but we stood in the hallway basking in the glow for at least 45 minutes and then realized we should be in class. So it was, it was just a great thing. School was electric.
You talk about the camaraderie and the support, and something that just wowed me at TCNJ. I mean, TCNJ is not a small stadium, and you guys filled it up.
Well, the moment for me that kind of put that in perspective, there were two. First, when I walked in, I was disappointed. I have to tell you, when I looked at the crowd and said, man, the stadium's only half filled. What the heck is going on? Where's my North Star Nation? And then I looked out. As I got to the sideline, I could see past the bleachers, and I could see the crowd coming in, and it went all the way back to the Student Center. And it was 6 or 7 wide. Right. I mean, it wasn't a skinny little line, one person standing behind another. This was a wide, deep line that just went on forever. And, and then at the end of the game, now we've won. Now I'm being interviewed by the press. We have to move to the side because the next teams are going to come out on the field. And at that point, the stadium was still about 3/4 filled. So, I turn and I start talking to everybody. And it took about, I guess, 15, 20 minutes for all the interviews. The game had already started. Mm-hmm. And they're like, okay, well, we got to leave. And I turn around and I look in the stands, and it looks like there's 15 people compared to what we had. And it just blew me away, because not only were the stands full, but our entire sideline all the way around to the goalpost was filled. And it wasn't just filled with North Star Nation, it was filled with Mercer County Nation. I saw Allentown jackets, I saw Steiner jackets, I saw West Windsor jackets, I saw Tom Hoagland and several of his players standing down in the end zone. I saw, countless kids from our years past. I mean, it was just a tremendous mix of people and who, were there to support us. And I'm just so thankful that the game was played at TCNJ and not Rutgers, because I don't think we would have had that. I mean, I remember the crowd for Steiner. I remember our crowd. And I know that there were a lot of people, but I think even more people came because it was so close. And it was a beautiful day, and it turned out to be a storybook ending.
And not only that, the fact that it was close, but the fact that I've always said something about the camaraderie between the coaches, the players. The TD Club has been, it's 20-some years now, John, maybe 30. That TD Club has brought Mercer County football together so well. Well, the coaches all like to help each other.
The TD Club goes back, I've been coaching now for 26 years, 23 here at Nottingham, 3 at Steiner. And the TD Club has always been a tremendous group. Coaches are awesome to work with. Jappy Moore, who was one of the founders, along with my mentor, Steve Simic, Bruce Martz. Great men. And then, the torch was passed to us, and we've been carrying it. It's just a great group and a special group. And, the Sunshine Classic, I think, also has a lot to do with it. Because I got to tell you, I felt like I owned those sidelines. Being the offensive coordinator as many times as I have in that game, coaching on those sidelines as many times, I felt at home. I was in the locker room, and I was just saying, this feels real good. I feel like
I was thinking about that, that you, because of your illness, you had to give up the opportunity to be the head coach of the East in the last Sunshine game. And I said, who would have known then that John would substitute coaching in that game to being here coaching and winning a state championship. You know, it's amazing how those things work out, John.
God bless me. You know, I know people won't look at what happened as a blessing, but I do, because I think it really helped to bring us together. You heard what the kids said. You know, when I got ill, the first people I told were my coaches, Zach being one of them. And this guy right here is second to none and awesome, and he knows how much I appreciate and love him. And but he this year stepped up even more so. Frank Gatto, the defensive coordinator, John Barry, my quarterback's coach, Jimmy Petershon. I mean, the list is endless. Bobby Donaldson, Larry Kelleher, Milo McGuire. I have a staff that is second to none. Bobby Harris. I know I'm going to forget somebody in this, but those guys carry
quality control coach.
And of course, Mr. Wesker.
Zach, how tough was it with you guys going into the season and not, you know, obviously everybody wanted John back because he's a special guy, but, you know, for the other coaches, I mean, the uncertainty of what was going on.
I think Coach Adams did a great job letting us know what the situation was and being very open to the idea that, you know, a lot of head coaches might say, you know, I don't know if I want my assistant coaches necessarily running this or doing that. He was very open to, you know, trusting us as a staff, allowing us to do all the things that he would have been doing in his stead. And I think we were pretty confident in the fact that because of him being such a great leader in the way that he's instructed us as coaches and made us as men, you know, especially for myself, I've only coached football for 11 years. All 11 years have been right here at Nottingham High School underneath Coach Adams. I think we all had a certain sense of security that we were going to do this for him. We were going to make it happen with the kids. We were going to keep pushing the kids to work hard and continue to have the program evolve the way that it's been evolving since I got here. And we knew that he was going to be back. I mean, Coach Adams is a resilient guy. He's a great football coach. Most importantly, he's a great man, and all of us look up to him. I think as coaches and his players both look up to him as he's our leader.
That was the unique thing about this staff, and I've said that several times. You know, John's the head coach, but you've got three guys on the staff who all have head coaching experience. You know, we talked about John Burry at Hamilton, Frank Gatto at Notre Dame, and at Steiner, Bobby Harris at McCorston. I mean, you know, that's rare when you, maybe only in the NFL do you find assistants who have had head coaching experiences.
Well, we have a little spin on why we're all together. You know, since it's Christmas, there's, of course, in the movie Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, there's the land of misfit toys. Well, we call Nottingham the land of misfit coaches because we were all cast-offs. You know, I was cast off at Steiner basically because of budgetary constraints, and took this job really because I had no other choice. No one else wanted this job. I took over I coached, and I say it proudly, coached the worst football team probably in the history of Mercer County. So I've been on both sides.
There have been some bad ones, John. Because I remember going back before you coached, and you played. We had some bad ones come through.
I'm sure we did, but I don't know of any that gave up 370-some points and only scored 3 touchdowns. Playing with a sophomore roster because we only had maybe 8 seniors, only 5 or 6 of those started. We had 3 juniors, and we had about 20-some sophomores. I still keep those articles, and I keep that picture of that team to keep things in perspective, because we just didn't have the talent to compete. We were playing against great Trent High, not good Trent High teams, the best Trent High teams. We weren't playing against good Notre Dame teams. We were playing against the best Notre Dame teams, and we were getting mauled. And you know, I said it then. I told the kids when I brought that team into the gym met them for the first time. I pointed down the other end. I said, "There'll be a banner. One day you'll walk into school. There'll be a banner that says Nottingham football, Group 3 champions, state champions on it."
What made you persevere?
What made me persevere? Well, again, getting great coaches, having people like Frank Gatto, like Zach Campbell, like John Barry, like Bob Harris, coming into this program, and having the most understanding wife in the history of the world, who's been by my side the entire time supporting me. You know, in the early days of 1990, I can remember the day we got beat by Trenton 61-0. I walked into my house and fell face first onto my bed, like just. And she says, "What's wrong with you?" Because in those days she didn't come to the games. And I said, "We're terrible. What can I do?" And I would always, though, go back and, you with her pushing me forward, keep working, get better, and, look down the road, don't look at now. I've talked to other coaches, young coaches who started out. I mean, in those days there was no, well, we're going to fix the schedule for you. We're going to allow you to build your program and play teams outside the conference. No, there was none of that. We had to play Trenton High 1990 football team, which, in my opinion, is the best team I ever saw. With the depth and the size of their line and the people that they had playing for them, some of which made it to the NFL. And Notre Dame with Brendan Profit and Seth Profit and, Billy Moore and countless others that played for Chappie that have gone on to great things and playing against those teams. So, staying focused, staying grounded, and always with that thing that I can do a better job. So going to clinics, going to different places, having a supported administration. The change in our weight program was probably the most important thing. That was spurred by another good friend, John McKenna. Just keeping my nose to the grindstone and sticking it out. And again, all the while trying to put together pieces like, again, Zach and Frank and Bob and John and Jim and, Milo and great people that are tremendous coaches, educators, and role models for my players.
Zach, it had to be a great feeling for you when Coach was coming back off of his health scare to look at him and go, we're pretty good.
Yeah, I really felt when Coach finally did come back. We'd run a lot of the off-season stuff. In the spring we run a little mini camp. We had done that, without Coach being there. And over the summer, as we were doing like 7-on-7s and stuff, Coach started to come around and we started to see him. And by the time as we saw him, it was a strange progression. It was like every time I saw him, I was like, okay, we're gonna be ready in August. Okay, we're gonna be good in August. And he kept getting stronger and stronger. And then when that day came, I won't forget the look on the faces of all the boys, the coaches, and even the look on Coach's face when we walked into that gymnasium the first day of practice to start in August. And he said, I told you I was going to be here, and I told you I was going to be ready, so you better have done what you were supposed to do because we're going to go do what we came to do this year, and you can see the end result.
Yeah, absolutely.
John, I remember Kat told me just a few weeks ago when we were talking about, the situation leading into the season and leading into training camp. He said how these kids would come out sometimes on their own. They didn't need coaches. He said these kids were they knew the situation and they were going to do everything in their power. They were working out among themselves just to try to keep this thing.
I go back to now we're going into baseball season while I was coaching track. The receivers, even because Luke was playing baseball at the time, we have our weight room. But when weight room was over, I had to chase them off our game field because they were out on the game field running routes, throwing balls, working on corner routes, or working on fades, or working on stop and goes, or just working on timing, or just fundamental drills. And while they were doing that, the defensive backs were over doing drills, and the offensive linemen were over flipping tires and doing extra work with no coach around, just the kids. This team, and even during the summer when we would do 7-on-7 before we have practice, they're all there an hour and a half before throwing routes. And it's not just our varsity guys; it's our JV guys, and it was amazing to see, the dedication and the work ethic of this group was second to no team that I've ever.
One thing I found interesting was when Devin told me after the game, I said, "What did you guys think about this?" He says, "I remember as freshmen when we all got together for the first time, we thought we said we're going to win a championship." I said, "But nobody ever won a championship. You guys weren't even born the last time, right?" He said, "But we thought about it." And Jake repeated the same thing a few minutes after that. He said, "We started thinking about winning a state championship when we were only freshmen." They hadn't even put a football uniform on, But these kids really, they just had it in their head they were going to do it.
That group could have been one of our better freshman teams we've ever had. The problem was Luke broke his collarbone I think it was the third or fourth game.
Third game against Trenton.
In a mud pit.
Yep.
Over at Trenton. And that team was really, really good. They were very good, but with Luke, they were really, really good.
Was that the team with Jamil Bale?
No, that was the team.
Jamil, who was the quarterback? You told me the two that passed in the Long Branch game. You said he was a quarterback.
Oh, that was Jamil. Jamil's
the year after for the freshman.
Oh, the year after. Okay.
Yes.
That group went undefeated as sophomores on our JV. So we put together 2, we feel 3, and down the road there's another group coming here that's not here yet, but going to be here. We're going to have some really good players walking our hallway for the next quite a few. That's why we don't think this is going to be a one-time, one-and-done deal. We think we're going to, we're going to be in a position to compete. Now, are we going to work together? Are we going to come together as a group? All that process starts in January when we open up our weight room right after Martin Luther King's birthday. I know a lot of teams have gone into the weight room already. We just finished football. They've been done football for a while. We just finished, so I think it's important. One of the things that I've always believed in is family first, and being a Christmas season, in holiday season, it's important for these boys to be around their families. So, they put in a lot of extra work during the year. We'll get plenty strong, in my opinion, because our weight program's second to none. Our kids work as hard as any kids in the area and in the state, in America. So I firmly believe that we'll be okay, but they need a little bit of a break right now, a little downtime, kind of get back to family life.
John Adams, Zach Campbell, thanks so much for joining us here on the Mercer County Football Show. And with that, George, that's it. Celebrating the first championship since 1989, and what a ride it was.
Yeah, it was a great ride, and to see it capped off by one of a team that, every game you got to watch them, you got to feel a little bit closer to this team. And, having been fortunate enough to see them through the playoffs and everything, it was just a memorable year. And fortunately, we were able to enlighten our viewers out there every week with what was going on in Mercer County football. And this is a great way to top it off. And happy holidays, John and Zach, and all the North Stars, and to all our viewers out there. We've had a great season, and happy holidays. And who knows, we'll be seeing you soon as we get ready in August for a new season of Mercer County football.
Yeah, the second season will be here. Before we know it, we'll be rolling on with season 2 of the Mercer County Football Show. Echo all of George's sentiments. Happy holidays. Thanks so much for following us all season. Thanks so much for watching again. Have a great day, everyone.